It's Monday, 19th of January, 2026. And in this evening's show, we react to yet another gut-wrenching injury time defeat. Yet another inept refereeing decision contributing to our downfall at Oakwell. As the Blackpool lose their fourth straight game in a row to leave us just one place above the dreaded drop zone. I'm John Aspinall, and this is Seaside's podcast, Match Reaction Show. Barnsley 2, Blackpool 1. Sorry, Raggy, I had to mute you there because you were heavy breathing. Welcome everybody on the show. Pull your little mic away from your mouth a bit. Mr. Raggysino is with us. He is in the building. Heavy breathing. Hopefully that's not one of your hobbies, Raggy, down the telephone to Blackpool employees.
No, in the past, but not now.
We've got a brace of Matt Smith and I can't even call you Matt Jones. Mitch Cook. Mitch is with us. Welcome, gents. Matt, it's been a while. Good to have you back.
Well, I would say it's good to be back, but I'd be lying through my teeth, wouldn't I, really? I'd rather be in Australia.
What motivated you to come on this evening, by the way? To enjoy
I just miss I miss everyone's face. That's obviously all it is, really.
Mitch, you've got your specs.
I like the therapy.
You've got your specs on top of your head. If Raggy had bins on, we could have a quartet of speckies, but we've got 2.5 at the moment.
Yeah, like glasses on a boiled egg, innit?
3 speckies, 2 baldies. What are you calling yourself as, Matt, these days?
I don't want to upset you, John, but your audio quality is not sounding as dulcet as you might ideally want it to.
Right, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves and I'll sort this out.
There we go.
That's better.
Always have the wrong space selected. Anyway, welcome everybody in the comments. Big Dog's there, Mark's there, Rocky's there, Tony. And not many other people. People don't tend to come on when we've got beat. We did on Saturday. It was against Barnsley. And this is how we lined up. Starting 11 as follows. Peacock Farrell in net. Cobbled together back three. Casey Ashworth on the left and new signing Grant on the right from Millwall. Andy Lyons right wing back, CJ left wing back, Honeyman, Brown and Bowler in the middle, Fletcher and Bloxham up top. Matt Smith, I'll come to you first. Obviously one massive kick in the bollocks before this led to the inclusion of Andy Lyons on the right wing back.
Yeah, as if we needed any further sort of disruption to the side. Obviously, Danny Imre getting recalled by Palace on, the 12th hour on a Friday wasn't helpful at all. A week's training inside them, and this is how we'll approach the match, and then it's ripped up. And we did have a replacement ready, I suppose, with Lyons, but obviously we'd all rather have Danny Imre in the squad. That's for certain. But it was just another little kick in the nuts for us, isn't it, really, losing him? And we don't really know what's going on with him. Palace didn't play any subs, in fact, did they, on Saturday, apparently. So we don't know whether he's going to come back at the end of the month, whether that's the last we see of him, which is just a real shame because, quite frankly, he's been one of our better players, which isn't difficult at the moment to stand out. But he has provided us with the impetus going forward. We can question his defensive abilities if we're going to pull his sort of attributes to pieces, but he's by far the better option in the squad prior to the weekend. So that was really disappointing. And apart from that, these days the side just almost picks itself, doesn't it, with regards to other injuries and such like. So it was no surprise other than the Danny Imre one, which we knew before the kickoff anyway. That was going to be our lineup, really.
Mitch, a further kick in the injury bollocks came with the omission of Albie Morgan. That was another blow. They just keep on coming, don't they? But that aside, your thoughts on the lineup?
Yeah, I think Matt said it all. Really, I mean, could you play a slightly different shape? I'm not really sure. With that thin at the moment, with that weak as a squad, that well, you can go to 4 at the back, perhaps. There's a few people I've seen saying, well, we've got plenty of wingers fit. We could play 4-4-2, but that didn't exactly work out brilliantly at the beginning of the season, did it? So why would it magically work now? Yeah, and Morgs being out is a real blow because he's sort of in a squad that is all too often this season a bit lethargic. Morgan is a player with some energy. So yeah, it's more or less, I think, what the best of making the best of a bad situation, that selection. There's nothing I fundamentally disagreed with.
Raggy, not many people or 800 hardy souls travelled to this. I don't think any of us in this room went. I think the fun and the excitement's been sucked out of Blackpool over the last 2 or 3 performances.
Yeah, I didn't go, and I wasn't. I wasn't intending to go in the first place, to be honest. And then when that Imre news came, that was the end of any slight chance of going. The team, yeah, it's what we expected it to be. I thought, watching the first couple of minutes, it looked like we were playing 4-4-2, 4 at the back for a few minutes. But I think that changed. It might have been one of those in possession, out of possession things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no surprises there. No one else to play, is there? We've got the softest squad in the football history, I think. Oh.
Okay, on to the game then. Mitch, let's come to you. The CJ show, really, first 10 to 15 minutes.
I've got to be honest, John. I don't remember it being the CJ show particularly. I thought overall, if you take away the last minute of the game, CJ played pretty well, and it was just a shame that then the last minute of the game happened.
Fizzed one into the box. I put in my notes for cleared first 8 minutes and 15.
He did. He
and
put a
slipped
couple of
CJ
crosses
in,
over.
but he couldn't get on the end of it. So he's involved in crosses.
He was
nothing,
involved. He was running up and down gamely, and he managed to not run the ball out of play or fall over a couple of times. So we were all really happy. There was one point in the second half where the ball came over to him in the air, and he both controlled it and crossed it, and I was absolutely delighted. I wrote in the comments, that was great from CJ, and then I realised it wasn't really great. It was just what you'd expect a footballer to do, but because it was CJ, I was really thrilled for him. But he did all right, and we sort of started. We started okay, we weren't exactly dominating the game, but they weren't causing a great deal of problems. I can remember they had a shot that they had a cutback and a really terrible effort over the goal, and that was the only time they really got anywhere near us, and it was comfortable enough. It was a pretty boring game when it was two sides were playing possession football against each other and sort of lots of square passes and knocking it back and what have you. And I'm sure somebody else will pick up with what sort of broke that monotonous, whatever the word I'm looking for is.
We need Tim here for these big words, don't we? Matt, we did have a big chance actually before the
they had the
epitomous moment Mitch is referring to. Tom Bloxon played inexpertly by Fletcher, who capitalised on a calamitous slip by the Barnsley defender. And I kind of knew Bloxon was going to miss that. I don't know if you felt the same.
Yeah, well, I not instantly, because I thought he was just going to hit it first time. Any foot would have done, really. But yeah, I just thought he was going to hit it first time. And then as soon as he took the touch, I knew instantly, that's it. It was just crowded out and took his too much time over it. And, unfortunately, he didn't finish like a striker, did he, at all? Which is the position that he's obviously been shoehorned into over the last couple of 3 months or whatever it's been. And, it just sort of summed us up, really. It's funny, isn't it, really? At the start of the season, I don't think any of us were particularly Ashley Fletcher fans, and some of us might not even be now. But, if it had been the other way around, you'd have fancied him putting it away. But sod's law, it was Bloxham. And, he made a right pig's ear of it, didn't he, unfortunately, for us.
And Raggy, you always think when these chances go begging, that's going to cost us. And boy, did it cost us just 3 minutes later.
Yeah, I didn't. I'd looked away at the time and looked back and thought, what's gone on? And then I've watched it back a few times since. I can only think that he just didn't see that. He just didn't see him. He just must have blended in his eye line with something, and because there's no way he would pass it there like that if he was there. So it's a terrible mistake. I mean, but that's the only reason I can think he did it, because he just didn't see the player there. And then, well, disaster then.
Mitch, do you think he should have taken a touch at least? And do you think it's fair to say that Peacock Farrell's got a mistake like this in him every game? I think he has got one blooper per game.
He's got one per game or whatever. He's definitely got a mistake in him. Some games he might have two. Some games he might be brilliant. Some games he might, he's that kind of keeper, isn't he? He's funny because when he's good, he looks really, really good. Like physically, he looks like a higher level keeper than a League One keeper. Like he's the spring on him, and the instincts he has sometimes are outstanding. And then he just does inexplicable things. I mean, it was just bizarre, wasn't it? Yes, he should have had a touch. I mean, retrospect says he should have just put his laces through it, but it was just like he was on autopilot, wasn't it? It was like sort of knocked back to him, and he just, I don't know. Like Raggy says, he can't have seen he can't have had a look at what was in front of him. He must have just played it automatically. It was bizarre.
Yeah, crikey. I mean, has he got a lazy right eye or something? Couldn't see it. I don't know. It's just mental, really. Well, yeah, it's a fair point.
I don't think he was looking at. I don't think he was looking at it. I watched it just before we came on here. I don't think he was looking at the player. He was looking at the ball. He was looking down. Yeah. I just don't think he's seen him. I think he thinks the centre half's in front of him, and that's it. But it's crazy. It's unforgivable. But that's the only. Well, it's the only logical explanation. Otherwise, he passed it to him on purpose.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't put it past some of our players these days.
No. But... Maybe there's a big betting scam about to break or something. I don't know.
Who knows? We like a bet.
Oh, bloody hell. It's just horrendous, isn't it? And the thing is, even when the lad hit the ball, I just thought then, even though he was out of his box, I just thought, well, just, throw your feet at it.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, Matt. I just want to pull you up there. You said the lad, it was David McGoldrick, who's like pushing 40.
Yeah,
rings round doesn't score a break.
Exactly, yeah.
Lack of concentration. That's why he's on loan at League One from Tony. It's a fair point, isn't it? How can you have a lapse of concentration in that area of the pitch?
That's what I'm getting at, is sort of his physicality and his technical ability is higher than this league, but he's not higher than this league. And you can see why he's not higher than this league in sort of, I've watched him make saves where you think, now that was good. This is quality. Right, he's going to kick on now. He's going to be brilliant. And then he's also watched him make absolutely horrific mistakes that, whoever, I don't know, Rochdale's goalkeeper wouldn't make. That's why he's not. That's why he's not living up to his actual sort of raw technical potential, because his concentration's not there.
Could he have run out quicker to stop the goal, said Steve. And Mark said, keeps playing foot out. This is the new coach thing. Not sure our boys up to it, though. Hard to argue, gents.
He couldn't stop it once he'd give it away. I'll say I was looking at it before. Once he'd given it away, because I thought, why is he not throwing himself across the...
It was too far out wide, wasn't it, the ball?
It was, and he was wrong. He was wrong-footed as well, just as he hit the ball. So he couldn't move over to do anything about it once he give it away. That was it.
So go on, Matt.
I was going to say it's talk about the Danny Imre thing and that happening to us, and then this happening. We just get constantly kicked in the bollocks, don't we? Every time, there's just mistake after mistake, and
it's mistake, bad luck, mistake, bad luck, mistake, bad luck. Referee decision, bad luck, referee decision.
Yeah.
And there was another one
Is it bad luck though? I mean, we'll address that point now. I don't believe in the bad luck.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen with what we're doing. With our recruiting, player after player, season after season, changes, swapping systems, changing players, buying. I mean, we think we've spent loads of money. I don't know if it works out at net zero by the end of if you worked it all out. These players aren't good enough that are coming in. Most of them aren't anyway. And we all believed at the start of the season we were, and that we were going to do something. And we've got expectations of them, and they're not good enough. It's why I think we get so many injuries. With players that are not capable being asked to do things they're not capable of, being asked to perform at a level they're not capable of. And we keep getting injuries, and we keep making mistakes, and it's like a concentration. It's the ability of the player. The concentration is part of it. But we're buying players that are substandard to what we're expecting, which is a promotion push. And we are where we are now. And the injuries seem like bad luck, and we're missing out on half a squad. Well, we made a decision as a club to reduce that squad down, get rid of any youth team that we've got, or any under 21 team. So we've got nothing to back it up now. We've got a 22-man squad. 8 injuries or something. Lone player goes back. We've nothing to back it up. So it's not bad luck. We've brought it on ourselves year after year after year. Certainly the last 3 years. With what seemingly we had a strategy to bring in young players, turn them into something good. I mean, how are we going to do that with no youth set up? We've got a bit lucky over last couple of years with the likes of Apter being able to be sold for a few quid and Bowler for a few quid to Forest, of which the Dale Taylor thing, I don't know. I mean, did Forest ever pay us all the money for Bowler? And then Dale Taylor became the answer to the final payment of that? I don't know. Did we really spend £1 million on him? Or was it just part of the deal later on to be sorted with Nottingham Forest? So I don't think we've signed players that are anywhere near what we want to do. With the exception maybe of Ennis. Fletcher's had a good season, but I don't know. I mean, Ennis, I do like Ennis. Taylor looked a good player for the couple of games we've seen him. And I don't know. I struggle after that to think who's worth a penny in the team anymore to anyone else. Albie Morgan, maybe. But we are where we are.
Morgan and Casey, isn't it? They're the only assets apart from
Morgan
the
and
ones
Casey.
we've
And then Randall, we've brought in today, who's supposedly a good player, seems to have been a good player, and maybe just had a bit of a rough time at Bolton lately. Maybe that's the kind of player that we need. Well, I think it is the player we need if he performs to the levels he has performed in the past. But that's the standard of player. But again, loans go back. We end up in the same position again. It's not now that's the problem. It's 3 years ago. And coming up with a strategy that we've never put in place. And panicking at the first moment that the manager leaves or it's going wrong and changing the system over and over again. And it's nothing I haven't said to the club myself. That meeting that we had at the club the other week, what I said was to Ian Everett and Stephen Craney, and in front of Swansea Julian and Nick Horn and I can't remember who else was there, but a few on that table is I don't want Everett getting sold down the river by having to manage a team that these lot have brought in over the years that was for a 4-4-2. And then it's for a 3-5-2. And then it's for a 4-4-2 again. And then it's back to a 3-5-2 again. And then we get 8, 9, 10 games down the line of bad runs. People will turn on Everett, start saying it's down to him. It's not. It's not manager after manager after manager. It's not bad training while we're getting injuries. It's the level of recruitment. The wrong players not doing their own work properly. That David Downs, I don't know how he's in the job. I don't know how Swansea Julian's in the job, to be honest, either of them. I know we've spoke about this, and I know I'm going off halfway through talking about the football match, but you know me, and I can't help myself once I start. But these are Simon Sadler's guys, and Simon Sadler, the owner of his football club, a Blackpool fan who we want to hear. We want to hope that he connects with us because he's a Blackpool lad and he understands Blackpool. But he's left it in the hands of these two who don't communicate anything anyway, don't get the club. They've seen us on a trajectory like that for 3 years since they came in June and July 2023. They've brought in numerous players that have been rubbish, crocs, players on big contracts now who seemingly aren't worth half of that from what I've seen. And these two are in a job, and I don't understand it. There's no way Simon Saddlery's proved to be ruthless in the past, removing managers, removing board members, doing what he needs to do when it's going wrong. I'm sure his hedge fund didn't survive off people not hitting targets and just seeing him go down the pan. He'll have got rid. Don't know why he's not doing it. I don't know what their two roles are. And they might be sat there listening to this, or they might never listen to this. I don't know. But they might be sat there thinking, well, we work hard behind the scenes. Well, nobody knows. And it's not coming to fruition. It's not helping our football club. They'll both be on handsome salaries, I'm sure. And I think it's about time that we started to hear a little bit about something, because we've been heading one way for 3 years. And what's changing it? What's changing in the strategy of the club, the running of the club, that's going to change that? Other than Ian Everett maybe proving to be a very good manager and being able to get something out of what he's got at the minute. But who's to say we don't go on and lose another 9-10 games on the bounce here, and people say, well, it's Everett, he needs to go as well. Then what do we do then?
Well, Raggy, we've got some really tough fixtures coming up. You know, Northampton aside, we've got Stockport at home, Luton away, Huddersfield away, Plymouth at home, Mansfield at home, Bolton away, Lincoln away. So the shit's going to hit the fan real quick if we don't start picking up results.
Well, it is. And, they should be worrying about us. It should be them thinking, oh, bloody hell, we're playing Blackpool. And there's signs of good team on our day. We did play well in the second half at Barnsley. We did control that game. And bits of wrong decision making cost us, but that's the point, isn't it? Then bits of wrong decisions are going to keep happening. They keep happening week after week after week. It's not coincidence. It's not by fluke. And it starts at the head of the club, at the top of the club. And that's why it's just... Sorry, Matt, go on.
I was going to say, strategically, we are faced with a January transfer window, which is the worst time to buy players, where we've got a real need to go and buy players. So we've got on Saturday, we've got Scott Banks, who can't defend to save his life, and CJ, who can't defend to save his life, as the only wing backs available. Because of what Raggy said before, the squad's been bought for one thing, and now it's doing another thing. And when previously before that, it did another thing. When Downs came into the club in June 2023, his role was described as to create a long-term strategy and to, this is a great word, synchronize the pathways between the academy and the first team. So the long-term strategy, I had a look at, a few of us had a look at the signings that we've made in the last 3 years. And I'd say there's probably 3, maybe 4 of those signings you could say outright have been a success. Barring the loan signings, I'll accept we've made some good loan signings, but loans are only ever a stopgap. So maybe 3 of those signings have been an unqualified success. Players who you'd say have come here and developed in value and had a real impact for the club. As Raggy referenced before, the youth setup's been cut back. So how are we synchronizing pathways between the academy and the first team when the youth setup's been cut back? And you go, well, in the 31 months that we've had, we've gone backwards. He comes in, we've just come out of the championship, and we're all thinking, we'll bounce back. We'll come straight back up. And now we're looking at Division 4, and we're facing, as I started this with, some kind of panic buying mission in January. This is the very definition of the opposite of a long-term strategy, isn't it? It's short-term strategy because there's been no long-term strategy ever. Now, I could be wrong. There could be some kind of really deep and meaningful strategy going on, but I haven't a clue what it is, because we just seem to get one manager, then the next manager, and then sort of do loosely what the manager wants to do loosely. That doesn't seem to me like an overarching football strategy.
We got told at the time it doesn't matter who the manager is because there's a system in place. And that was just complete bollocks, wasn't it? In effect.
Yeah, it's crap. I mean, at the top level, you've got teams like Brentford and Brighton who've changed their manager virtually on an annual or biannual basis, much probably as we have. But the next guy just slots in without any problem whatsoever. And they're the two teams that instantly come to my mind because that's the way they're brilliantly run football clubs, it would seem, from the outside. They do everything right on and off the pitch, it would seem. And you just think, how hard is it? How hard is it that you've all of a sudden, like you say, you're flip-flopping from 4-4-2, 5-3-2, whatever, and you're just ripping up contracts left, right, and centre, and you just don't have any continuity. It's just a mess. It's just a mess.
It's not just 4-4-2, 5-3-2, is it? It's style, it's ethos. The last 4 managers we've had, or permanent managers we've got Mick McCarthy, direct long ball old school manager, Critch, possession football, coach, pass, retain the ball, Bruce, more of a direct football old school manager, Everett, direct possession football, retain the ball, pass, technical. It's that ethos. It's back and forth. It's not just, we don't have a wing back, or we don't have a winger, or we don't have we don't have a defensive central midfielder. It's fundamentally what you need for those different types of football are a very, very different type of play. If you look at, say, Stevenage, who've done, very well over the years by playing a very direct and aggressive style of football, they recruit based on the power, pace, physicality of their players. They'll recruit totally different than, say, Peterborough would have done under Darren Ferguson, who are looking for flair and technical ability. You're looking for a whole different set of stuff. The reason we can't just switch to 4-4-2 is because we don't have the physicality, we don't have the power to do it. It's not just that we don't have quite the right players and the expertise. It's more than just putting the players out. It's fundamentally what their attributes are, and that surely should be something that you're looking at over a period of 2, 3, 4 years. You're building up, you're recruiting younger players, you're stocking up sort of with 17, 18-year-olds, you're bringing players through from the division below you. That's what you'd imagine you were doing if you've got this kind of apparently got this football strategy, not just going, who do we need now? He's free, we'll buy him, which seems to be what we do.
Yeah,
it might be very unfair. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it's one of the questions I've asked is who's controlling? I mean, is it Sadler that's controlling everything, and these two clowns are just two silent patsies doing what they get told, or have they manipulated him into believing that his is the right way, that theirs is the right way to go? But I don't know. It doesn't seem like the thing Sadler would fall for, but for some reason, for 3 years nearly, these two have had a job. Not said a word, either of them, for at least 12 months until, the last time Swansea Julian said out, he was wanting to charge kids a fortune, wasn't he, and to get us all off down the Sea Life Centre. But no one's saying a word. But if Simon Sadler's not going to be the head figure and the man and the chairman that speaks and communicates, then it's up to his chief exec, who never says a word. Is he been told not to say a word, or has he not got a word to say? I don't know. I struggle with it, mate. It's our football club. And I've used this word a lot lately. The standards are piss poor from top to bottom currently. And I'm not talking about getting some painting done under the stands and things like that, and lovely artwork that Rob Purden's doing. That's all good. That's all part of it. But there's 101 other things that the standards are so low, and the standards are on the pitch are low. The fact, I mean, I know it is where we are now, but when I read yesterday, someone saying, the big game on Saturday. I mean,
6-pointer against Northampton already, halfway through the season in League One.
Yeah. Where are we? I mean, it's just terrible, and that's the standards we've gone to. And I might as well go off on a tangent while I'm here, haven't I? And just say, the standards of all the other things that go on around the ground. I mean, I've said about this TV screen on the side of the ground. Those that don't know, whoever's heard it before has probably looked by now. There's a broken TV screen on the side of the southwest corner that used to be an advertisement screen, put up 15 years ago. It's broken. It's neither taken down nor fixed. It's just sat there on the side of the ground. Why? Why is it not fixed? Why is it not? I mean, ideally, why is it not fixed and advertising things for the football club? We're a town that's based and famous on illuminations. We've got no lights on the outside of the ground. It's not. Well, this is it, though, isn't it? People come to Blackpool down the Eden Way. The first thing, Blackpool, bright lights and everything.
A delicious irony, someone might say.
Yeah, it's dull and gloomy, and it's just unwelcoming. The ground's dirty. It wants pressure washing. It needs cleaning the outside of the ground. They don't do it. They do it at other football clubs. We do not do it here. We've got statues of heroes with Armfield and Mortensen. No lights on it. And at times I've questioned the club on it, and they say, "Well, we're looking into it because we might be." What they're alluding to, without saying it, is they might be looking at different way in and out of the ground on that side. So I presume they mean potentially moving the statues at some point to different areas. But it's lights we're talking about. I mean, for a start, they'll take years, as they have took years to do anything. But it's lights. Put some lights in. Move the lights after. No one's asking them to bring the moon.
The memorial bricks around the Morty statue are
the memorial
mess,
bricks are a joke. And we've seen it today, haven't we, from someone we know who's got one. It's took him 14, 15 months to get a brick put down for his father. It's just placed in there. It's not straight. There's no, well, you see the bricks around it. They're all out of line. He gets an email saying along the lines of, we have to wait till there's 6 orders before we can order a brick for a lifelong Blackpool fan that you're paying for. It's just meant. They don't get it. There's no human feeling in any of that. And there's who in the club's thinking about that. The memorial that was on the New Year's list, the memorial list of the Bradford game, it was so fast. It's like the Star Wars credits going up at the end of the screen.
Blink and you miss it.
You couldn't read.
Look at the difference between that and the Port Vale one.
Exactly. It couldn't have been polar opposite. They have, there was people on that list that were missed off. Some people that that were, the club had to be contacted in the morning to put them on. Who in the club's finding this out, worrying about it, thinking we should have a memorial wall and garden, not bricks on the floor that have all faded and people are walking over them and they're all misaligned. And it's these are the fundamental things for a football club in the community. And I just, no Blackpool Football Club signage outside the ground. We've got the 2 badges on the side of the ground that were funded by fans years ago. There's no Blackpool Football Club written on the side of the ground. There's no names of the stands in lights. Some of the most famous players in the world, in world football history, in this country's history, and we've got them, and we have named the stands after 3 of them. Can you see it anywhere? Unless you're in the ground and you see the Armfield in the seats. It's just, I don't know. It boils my piss, to be honest with you, because I just know that if there was anyone that was caring about it properly, these things would be covered as a matter of course. They have, I don't know. It was a mate of mine that took his kid to the Junior Seasiders Christmas party, and he said it was a bit quiet, and he asked a question. He said, well, there's only 80 Junior Seasiders anyway. If that's true, there's only 80 kids at the Junior Seasiders thing. That's a disgrace, but I can't confirm that. Stadium tours of the ground that we spoke about in the past, the club, why don't they do it? Kids would love, I'd love it. Everyone would love to go around, just walking around the pitch, being tucked through the stands. Not everyone gets to see it. They might see it every day walking up and down there with the faces down and wandering in and out of offices and changing rooms. But people want to see it. The children want to see it. Take them to the training ground. It might not be bloody, Carrington or out, but people want to see it. It's Blackpool's. It's ours. People want to go on these things and take pictures with the cups and get the Ballon d'Or in there in the ground and take the kids in there taking pictures with it. Love it all over their Instagrams, wouldn't they, and the Facebooks. But it's not hard, this. This is what we all think, this, because we're Blackpool fans. We all know this instinctively, and we always think it, but we might put up with it. But so there's no one in the club to me that is remotely a Blackpool fan. That's remotely linked.
That's what I was going to say, Raggy. There's no Blackpool fans within there, and that would make a big difference. But we seem to be all outcasts.
Yeah, and you got the SLO with Steve, and I like Steve, and he'll do his job, and it's probably a thankless task, but he gets us nowhere with it. Not hard enough. Not going to fight hard enough. And I'll give you one example here, by the way, with the ground safety, because I get asked now and again about the North Stand and the atmosphere. What can we do to get that atmosphere back? Well, it comes back on occasion, and it'll come back if we're winning games. Of course, it will in some certain aspects. But one of the reasons it disappears is all of the things that go on. They've banned and barred loads of people. Some have got police banning orders for various things, but a lot of people are banned from that ground for being over exuberant. Well, when they disappear with their 40, 50 of them, and then their mates disappear, it takes it all out of there, doesn't it? When they send cameramen round in Bradford hats, sitting in front of the stand and having some idiot running up and down, giving it 1-0. Who signed that off? Who sanctioned that morning? Which one of the media teams said, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Go and sit behind there with your Bradford hats on. It's a joke. And that a Blackpool fan wouldn't do it. They'd never do that. So whoever is making them decisions, either A, are incompetent, or B, well, and B, not a Blackpool fan. And here's one specific. I sat in that corner flag, me and Grimmy, with Nick Horn, Ashley Hackett, and Natalie Gradwell, who is the ground safety officer. And I said, while we're sat in here, let's just look at that corner of the north stand, the northeast corner. Why can't I go out there with my pint from under the stand when I'm having a cigarette? And she said, well, you can. I said, no, it happens every game. I go to walk out and they say, you can't walk out of there with your pint. You've got to leave your pint and go and have a fag outside. And she said, no, it's all right in that penned off area. So I said, brilliant. Next game, I said to Grimmy, watch this. Walked out with our pints. All the stewards running over. You can't have your pints out here. I said, of course we can. We've got it off the ground safety officer. No, you can't. That's what we've been told. So we'll get her on the radio. Got her on the radio. Who is it? It's Raggy. I'm not available till after the game. And that was that.
Fucking
right.
hell.
So
Right.
that's what we're dealing with. And it's that kind of mentality in that area, in that stand, that starts to rip
It's
the
it's not just there, Raggy, right? Under the West,
Yeah.
at half time. If you go under the West in the concourse, it is absolutely rammed.
Yeah.
You cannot move barely. So I had a pint at half time, and I was edging out into this was at half time, wasn't during the game. And I had a steward kind of almost pushing me back in to the rammed area rather than just spreading out into the area where the entrance gate is. And so to get around it, I was stood with my pint, my arm fully extended. So it was just over the kind of line into the back area. Stood outside and said, look, my pint's not there. My drink's in there so I can stay here. And eventually it was so busy that everyone just forced the way out. And these numpty stewards, I think they realised there were so many people getting agitated and annoyed that they just allowed it. I mean, what is that all about? Who's allowing that to happen? What are they instructed?
That's it. No,
It makes no logical sense to me on any level. Like blocking off the north from the west. You know, the wraparound corner bit. Why is that? Why is that blocked off? It makes no sense.
I don't know what that part is, but everything else is down to we just will not. Everything's got to be by the book. Everything's got to be by it, and it's rubbish. And that's why, you know, when we don't argue enough about it as a football club. I want them to be fuming over the James Husband red card and additional thing. We hear nothing. They might pen a letter behind the scenes and give it that. We don't hear anything. We hear a bit of kicking off about our club unfairly treated. Then we're not. We play everything by the book, by the rules. That's why we end up with the football club dealing with the police about the leaving of people from the stadium, which is a farce itself. And it's the same old, year after year after year. And nothing changes and nothing is changing. So, you know, if you don't change the man, well, nothing changes. You'll always get what you always got, won't you? So if you always do what you always did. But, I mean, I'll just throw the final bit into the, my final bit that worries me is about an upcoming court case, which don't know anything about the court case, so I can't give you any details on the court case. But our chairman's up in May on in a court case in Hong Kong, and if found guilty, and I have no idea if he is or he isn't, or what the case is, then he'll be almost certainly deemed not to be fit to own a football club. And we've sort of bypassed it all and not questioned this. Well, what happens to our club? I think we need to start asking for some answers for this. We've £3.8 million debt on our books. Now, I'm hoping, I'm sure he's got it all in hand and it's all good. But what happens if? What happens if he loses and gets imprisoned? What happens if he loses and it's a big financial thing? But because it's based around finances, that the EFL or the FA, whoever deals with that, says not fit and proper, club needs to be sold. What happens? What happens to the 23.8 million? What happens? We've got a risk of administration along the way, of which will be a 12-point deduction, possible relegation. Is that? I mean, because I don't know, but May's going to come very quickly, and I don't think anybody has any idea of what would happen in each case. If he was not guilty, great, everything carry on. If he is, what do we do? And I don't think that's too much to ask, is it? We certainly don't want to find ourselves in a position again where we're knackered. So I don't know. I know maybe we can't give the answer to because no one knows what's going to happen in it. But what about each scenario? Guilty or not guilty? What happens to Blackpool Football Club? Because that's all I care about.
There's only one person that can answer this question, Raggy.
Well, it's Simon Sadler. And I just believe, I don't know if he's watching it tonight, if he does watch it, that somebody could just give us an answer to that. What happens, or tell me, or tell us that Blackpool Football Club is going to be okay at the end of it? Because it's massively important. And I think it was Matt that said yesterday about if it was a faceless organisation that owned our football club, and we'd not heard from them for 12 months, and they were facing a court case, we'd be screaming and banging the doors down. But because we have respect for Simon, and he's done a good job for us, really, as an owner and everything, no, people have left that alone in the hope that it's all okay. Well, we need to know it is okay. Not doubting the man, not doubting his innocence. Just what happens if he's deemed to not be able to own the football club anymore? Where does it leave us?
Yeah, it's if you just do a thought experiment, apply it to another club. If someone told you that Leyton Orient were owned by, I don't know, some guy from Uzbekistan who was facing charges in Hong Kong, and the months were ticking down, and as Raggy said, there's a potential for being disbarred for ownership, you would say instantly, you'd say to a Leyton Orient fan, you need to know what's going on there. But I think there's this sort of in Sadler we trust, because we want to. We all want it to work with Sadler, because it's a much better story. Local boy grows up, does well, buys football club in this world of sort of global ownership and fucking faceless flipping consortiums and all of this, nation states and everything. It's a brilliant story. If a lad from Blackpool can take us where we want to go, that's fantastic. We all want it to work. But the football club, as Sadler himself said very eloquently when he took it over, he said all the right things, and he very eloquently said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, the football club is bigger than all of us. I am the custodian. I don't see myself as an owner. I'm a custodian. And, at the back of everybody's mind has just got to be that, what if? What if? And it's absolutely his business. It's 100% his business, but the football club is our business, isn't it? It's all of our business. It's what we all, to greater or lesser extent, we all live for, sad as that may be. It's the highlight of all of our weeks. It's a highlight of our Tuesday nights and our weekends is going watching this fucking football club lose quite often, but we do it and we turn up again and again and again because it means stuff to us, and because it's the community and it's the town and it's the people and everything. And there's that when something threatens that, there is that sense of just knowing what's the plan, what's in hand. As Raggy said before, let's hope it is all in hand. Let's hope there is a plan. Maybe we're all worried about nothing. Maybe the charges against him don't, maybe the club have mapped it all out and there is no, but it would be nice to have some information, given it's something we all care extremely deeply about it. And it's not the price of pies. It's not sort of, as fans, we can all whinge about everything. It's not the price of pies. It's not that we don't like, it's the wrong shade of tangerine on the shirt, or we don't like the third kit. It's something that's fairly existential. And it's also given the history of this club and what was sacrificed by a lot of people, within the fan base, and the number of years that most of us didn't go for, and the much, much bigger sacrifices that some people made. It's understandable why people might be a little bit, touchy about anything that potentially imperils a football club. So I think, it is something that needs to be addressed. It doesn't need a 4-hour speech. It just needs some sense that there are contingencies in place and what they might be. That's my view.
Yeah, well said.
Do we want to hear this from Julian Winter or Simon Sadler?
I want to hear it from Julian Winter live from the Ray tank at the Sea Life Centre.
Julesy, baby. Julesy.
Yeah. I want when Raggy met Jules, both of you sat there
No,
with the Ray.
that's how we want this news disseminated. When Raggy met Jules.
Yeah, tinkling jazz in the background. You both with a glass of water there.
In the style of Louis Theroux.
Yeah, we want to hear it from either or somebody.
Any comms would be good comms.
Right, did Jonathan Bland deserve to get sent off or not?
Yes.
Oh, I can't remember that now.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't pay for us, so he didn't get sent off.
Yeah,
would
that's how it works.
Would Ed Duckworth have sent him off?
No, he sent Jimmy Husband off.
Yeah,
he sent Casey off for moaning.
When there's any doubt about the situation, just send Jimmy off.
Yeah. Or he sent Jordan Rhodes off. Either of them. No, I thought it was a sending off. If we are actually going back to the game, I thought it was a sending off because that lad had earned his booking. It was his booking was like his second offence. So it was a watch it, then a booking, and then he absolutely was it Casey he kicked up in the air.
Casey nailed him.
He absolutely flied in, nailed him, and yeah. I think we're all bitter, aren't we? Because compared to the husband tackle, possibly in the the 80s and 90s football that we all remember fondly, that was barely a foul. But in this day and age, then it probably was a second yellow.
You know, we've had two defining moments in games go against us. Port Vale, like they won 5-1. The game probably would have turned out completely differently. If they've gone down to 10 men, this game probably would have turned out differently. You can't say for certain, but it just seems to be the way things are happening against us at the moment with injuries and shit decisions from refs. It's all... I
mean, their gaffer knew it as well, didn't he? Because he didn't appear in the second half.
Subbed him at half time. He was probably wiping sweat off his brow. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Oof. Right. So bland off at half time. The first half was very bland. Been there looking forward to that pun all day. Kelly's skied an absolute sitter. Mitch in the second half. Don't know if you believe that was kind of the second sitter that Barnsley have missed. Bit of pressure for Blackpool. After that, we were kind of on the front foot with our team dominant on the ball, and we looked like the more likely to score. And the Barnsley natives were getting a bit restless, I thought.
Yeah, we played better second half. I thought what really kicked us into gear was when we took Bowler off, who I thought was really poor. I've been on here many a time saying how much I think of Josh Bowler, what a footballer he has been for us and what moments he has given us. And since he's come back, there's still obviously a very talented footballer there, but he really wasn't on it on Saturday. We took him off. We shoved Honeyman up into sort of more of a forward roll in a 10 roll, and actually Evans, we brought him on and he sort of clattered around doing what Lee Evans does, and for sort of 5 or 10 minutes we played pretty well. I mean, it's only 5 or 10 minutes, isn't it? But we played pretty well. The goal was like a lot of Fletcher's goals this year. He was in the right place.
Made it himself, Matt, again. Mate, just want to point this one out. He starts a lot of these goals himself as well, and finishes them. Pick the pocket of the defender.
He does that very well, doesn't he? He does that coming deep and then laying it out, turning and making a clever run into space. He does do that very, very well. Honeyman, I think it was who put the ball in, wasn't it? Who was in that more advanced position. And it was, maybe a little bit lucky with the finish. It was deflected, but it was certainly a deserved goal. We absolutely deserved to score, and probably we deserved to score the next goal because we carried on playing pretty well.
George Honeyman, Matt, pulling the strings a lot more in a more advanced role, I thought, and he made a big difference in that role. So, A, where's George Honeyman's best position? B, is time now up for Josh Bowler in that role? He can't play as a winger. We don't play wingers, but I think personally I've seen enough as Bowler. I don't think he's up to it in there.
Yeah, I think given the news of the lad from Randall coming in from Bolton, it probably puts the nail in the bowler coffin as far as a more of a central role's concerned. I feel sorry for the lad in a way. He's been pushed around from, bloody Panathinaikos or wherever he went to Blackpool in the last couple of years, and he's obviously lost his way on and
shouldn't have left Blackpool. Should he? Should not.
Well, that's it.
Big club.
He needed to stay on the Gold Coast, didn't he? Where the sun never stopped shining. But it's just one of those. I mean, he's an old-fashioned sort of winger type, and it's just he had that.
Not work. It's not working, is it? It's not working.
No, he had that great season with us, and we'll never forget, that spell he had with us. But he's just not even half the player, it would seem. And unfortunately, I don't think we're the first people to see it in the last sort of 18 months or so of his career, which is a real shame. I mean, the lad's only 26 or something like that.
He's kind of reaching prime now. Should be in his prime.
Yeah, exactly. Should be anyway. But he's lost his way. We're trying to shoehorn him into a sort of a number 10, whatever position, third midfielder, and it's just not working for him. So I think he's. I don't even know what his contract position is. I know we were looking at a fair few things earlier on in the day, but I don't know whether we've just got him for this year with a 12-month option or whether we're signing on probably a 4-year deal now in our fucking.
I thought it was 2+1 for Goal.
2+1, is it? Right.
I think that could be wrong.
I think you're right. I think it's definitely 2 years.
Well, there we go. So, but Honeyman, I think he's busier. I think in the further end of the midfield, shall we say? He does buzz around a lot, and I just wonder whether Randall coming in, who is definitely more of a genuine number 10, will help him a little bit more, because he's been doing a lot of running this season, and sometimes he looks like a bit of a headless chicken and doesn't know where to go and all the rest of it. But the effort he puts in, it can't be denied, really. He needs better players around him, and I think that's probably where he's been used to, playing at a higher level and having people with a bit more ability, quite frankly. And hopefully this lad will help him along a bit.
As Mark's reminded us there, and who can forget the Honeyman Harriet race yellow? That was peaceful. That was a great moment. So we thought we'd got a point. Who remembers Ash Fletcher being pulled not once but twice in the penalty box? More dodgy decisions that have gone against us. You want one of those two not given also?
That's when we were bravely streaming forward for the inevitable winner. What could possibly go wrong?
So who wants to talk us through it? Scott Banks, A, you take one for the team. CJB, you don't just put a half-hearted poke out when you're the last man.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it, really.
No.
Farcical. I mean, Honeyman was there as well, but he probably thought, I can't touch anyone because I'll be off here. CJ,
well, I thought Honeyman tried
most for that.
I thought Honeyman tried to close him down, and then he looked across and saw Banks and thought, if I go to him, this lad's just going to pop it out wide, and then the lad out wide would have been completely open. Because at first I was seething with Honeyman because I thought you should have just clattered him then. But if you watch, he comes in and then he goes, no, I'm not going to the ball. I'm going to go with this lad because Banks has got him. And it would have literally left this guy just straight up the pitch in on goal. So I can see why Honeyman sort of pulled off and went with the runner. Banks was like a fucking.
He was like, no, I'm not tackling. No.
I mean, surely someone on the side. Surely someone on the sideline would have shouted, "Just take the fucker out!"
CJ, when he gets back, he takes so long to get his feet started out, to get his foot out, and then the guy's past him, and CJ's literally left there with his legs stuck out.
He just went. That was CJ's. If you could do CJ's tackling in audio form, it's.
He won't be on Strictly, will he? With his footwork, that's for sure. He's just. I wonder. I mean, we talked about lack of ability stroke brains with certain players this this whole fucking season, haven't we? But I wonder if this is something that the management could do better, really, because you got two players there, quite frankly, CJ and Banks, who couldn't tackle the way out of a rice pudding, could they? So you do wonder why we don't have more of a midfield stroke proper fullbacks in those sort of defensive positions, really.
Well, CJ's there for his pace, isn't it? Because it'll be seen that no one will get past him because he'll be able to outrun.
No one get past me if he was just running.
Mark said that, out-sprinted by a 38-year-old.
It's a good theory, except for there's a football involved.
Oh, no. Well, it never stopped Dom Thompson for a bit, did it? He had a few games. Well, I don't know. We don't need to say anything about it, do we? You know what it was? Farcical. I'm sure Everett. Well, I hope he has. I'm sure he must have hit the roof in that changing room.
He sounded like he had. He sounded like he had post-match. He didn't mince his words, did he?
Yeah, he must. Yeah, I mean, you can't legislate for any of that as a manager, no matter what you set up, can you? You can't legislate for both them 2 goals were conceded.
No.
So
no. Yeah.
I think that end moment of that game summed up our season quite well. And Peacock Farrell's miss, faux pas. That summed it up.
Well, we haven't been in that game. We haven't been beaten by Barnsley. Evan said it perfectly. I'm just going to nick his quote. We haven't been beaten by Barnsley. We've beaten ourselves.
Yeah.
Totally.
We've given the goals. We've given the 2 goals.
Let's get the XG up for Raggy.
Oh, dear.
Or Raga, who else just come in the comments. That must be a Jamaican cousin, Raga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly even game, wasn't it? If you're looking at the numbers. Obviously, we're on the wrong end of the big stat that matters. And game we should have won. A game we should have won.
It wasn't an even game in the second half, was it? We was all over them.
Pissed all over them
for a long period. At least that we can take a bit of heart in.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Can we take heart from that?
Dare I say it, Finnegan and Evans actually looked decent when they were on there.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Finnegan, because for that 5 or 10 minutes that he came on, he looked quite
quality. He looked class, didn't he, Matt?
It looked like he'd actually got some confidence in him, which is obviously what he's shown at Walsall, wasn't it? And he came on and he got stuck in, passed the ball, didn't give it away as far as I can recall. And if he doesn't start on Saturday, there's not many players who can replace him, quite frankly, because we're still down to the bare bones. But it looks useful. So get him in there. I mean, Brown is just
he's so disappointing, Jordan Brown.
So disappointing. We don't like to slag players off, but But it's just so disappointing. We had a high expectations. Here's a lad who played however many, 50, 60 games for Leyton Orient, got to the playoff final last year, and I don't know whether our expectations were too high, but he's just not offering as much at all, is he? In a forward or defensive manner, and you just wonder what his role is and how he's managed to get where he is.
So off, Matt. I don't even notice that.
Totally. Anything more than 15 yards, it just doesn't reach the target, does it? And I don't, I'm sure there's a good League One player in there, but we haven't seen it at all this year. Briefly, maybe, and he's got a bit of heart about him because obviously he's played out of position at right centre half and God knows what else. But yeah, Finnegan just looks like he's an instant replacement for him for me.
He did. He looked very well, and he gets a lot of grief, does Evans, but he played very well in that when he came on.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
He was moving it with purpose and a lot faster.
And he has, we talked about brains before. I think we've only got about 2 or 3 players that have got any kind of brain in them. Obviously, Husband has got a brain. He tells them what to do. They take a lot. When Husband doesn't play, you notice they struggle to do things like knowing when to drive, knowing when to sit in and stuff like that. And Evans, he came on and he pointed, he shouted, he pushed people about and he led. You know, he led for that 15, 20 minutes. And as much as I've given him stick, he's driven me up the wall as Lee Evans for the last 12 months. He did have a really good game. I was going to say on Finnegan, I mean, even if Finnegan turns out not to be the great white hope and you know, turns out to be just rank average, we need energy and bodies. That's been the problem. Is we have absolutely, you know, going back to standards, we seem to be always going, oh, this guy will be really good, we must pick him, and like sort of putting our faith in one player. What we actually need is, if we're going to play a midfield three, we need 5 or 6 midfielders who are at it, 5 or 6 midfielders who are snapping at each other in training every week, pushing each other's standards. You know, somebody on the bench who's yearning to get on because somebody else isn't doing it, yearning to get on, and then showing that player what they should have done, then taking the shirt, and then it reverses. It's that what we need desperately that we just have not had for so long.
And it's those sort of standards, Matt, that would have got Lincoln where they are, Stevenage where they are, Bradford where they are, Mansfield to a lesser degree where they are. You know, all these teams that are
100%
above us in the table and have got no better players than us on talent, but it's just hard work, ethic, and desire, and all those sort of things that our squad don't seem to have at the moment. Well, at the moment, it's a long bloody moment, isn't it?
And I think what will be interesting is if we get this right, you know, if we get it right, which, you know, I've got 100% backing for Everett. We've got to give Everett time. We've got to give him what he wants, what he needs, what he asked for. If anybody's going to get this football club right, it's going to be him. There's nobody else in the building that's going to get it right. It's going to be him. So if he gets it right, it'll be really interesting to see of this current crop, which of them sort of pull through with that, which of them pull the socks up, which of them adapt to that, which of them are sort of lethargic and, you know, fitful and whatever the right words are, because we're lacking that competition, that standard, that everyday pressure, and which of them just aren't built for it and need to be shipped out. It'll be really interesting over the next 6 months to see where we're at. Yeah, which is, and that sort of thing is why for years I've always said, you know, a player like Jimmy Husband is worth their weight in gold. They might not be, you know, they might not be your first pick, they might not be your best player, but they've got something about them and they've got a standard, and they, you know, they're a self-motivated professional. We need a few more of that kind of player in.
When is Jimmy back?
One more game after this, I think. It sums up the season, doesn't it? That we're all going, when's Jimmy Husband back? You know, at the beginning of the season, we're going, oh, it'd be all right for second choice left back.
Let's try and finish on a positive note then. We've got Niall Ennis coming back. We've just sound Joel Randall and Kamal Grant. Let's talk about Kamal Grant just to start with. He looked a useful player to me, looked pretty solid, put one on the keeper, not afraid to carry the ball, get us up the pitch. So looks like a useful signing, and a signing we desperately need given the injury to Fraser Horsfall.
Well, he's not injured. He's not 34. I liked Raggy's observation that he ran like Chris Clark. I thought that was very apt. He does. I think, he did all right. He misplaced a few passes, but at the same time, I think you've summed it up. He got stuck in, and you know, he got up and down the pitch, and he looked, for a player who hasn't presumably played many 90 minutes. He lasted the 90 minutes. He didn't, you know, he wasn't blowing out his arse, so he's obviously got a reasonable level of natural fitness. So he'll do for us. He's got a head, he's got 2 legs, and he seems to be able to, you know. Seems to be able to know the rules of football, so he'll do for us at the moment. It was right.
Joel Randall then comes very highly recommended by posh fans. Lost his way a bit at Bolton. Rumoured to be over £1 million player signed by Ian Everton, January 2025. Mitch, you came up with some stats on our patron chat group. 56 starts, 15 goals, and 9 assists. And also plays with his socks down, which is an instant win, isn't
it? Well, I looked at the highlights before of his career, like most people will have done. Let's see what this looks like.
There's a lot of assists in that highlights reel, isn't there?
Which, it's fine. I mean, great. He looked great. I've not got a problem with it. The only problem I had was most of his highlights were against us.
Tearing us a new one on regular.
So I suppose at least we've reduced the possibility of that happening again.
See another Tom blocks to me, you're saying?
Yeah, here's an interesting one though. Will he be allowed to play against Bolton?
I doubt it. I would doubt it.
I hope so. But you doubt
He'll probably have a hamstring in the next couple.
Yeah, I mean,
of
there's every
No
chance for
question.
that, isn't there? There's every
No
chance.
question. Yeah, I remember him playing for Peterborough against us, and but also that season last year or the year before, whenever it was, he seemed to be on every weekend highlight package doing something. So if he can reproduce 30-40% of that, that'll do us. I've heard that he's, a little bit lightweight and stuff, but I'm not bothered about that. Just stick him at the other end of the pitch and don't bother defending. Just set Ennis up and Fletcher up for us and get us goals to keep us up and make our Saturday afternoons a little bit more enjoyable. Just let Finnegan do the hard work behind you if he's going to be in the starting 11. Don't worry about you. You just get your number 10 and be the creativity that we sadly lack in this side.
I mean, Finnegan, Randall, and who are we putting in with them? Honeyman, obviously. So that's a pretty good midfield. Ennis back up front. Sorry, Tom, but Bloxham goes for me. Ennis and Fletcher up front. The main problem areas now are obviously the wing back.
Well, CJ's nailed that one down, obviously, on the left. Wait, is Lyons injured? He went off injured. Is he injured or is he not injured?
Oh, yeah, he was, yeah. So he's probably...
Is it a dead leg, though? So he might be all right for Saturday.
Yeah, but it'd be one of those 6-month dead legs that's never been seen before.
That Blackpool get.
Be a peg leg, no one knows. Yeah.
So I don't know
so
who plays on the right.
We need Downsy to deliver the goods in these two positions. These are the two key positions in this system that Everett plays, and we've got no options in there.
Well, if Lyons is out, we can only play Banks or Brown there, can't we? Realistically.
Brown as a wing back.
Well,
it's like
what else
Beasley. Bring back Beasley.
I know. Yeah, well, it's like it's Callum Connolly again.
I was just about to say.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Those are who else?
He's played that position.
He'd play.
We don't have any right backs, and we don't have any other wingers, do we?
He'd go with Ashworth on the left, wouldn't he, and put CJ on the right.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
All right, let's joking aside. Tony's just said 4-3-3. With those complete lack of options in those two key positions, you've got to surely, as Ian Everett, you've got to be thinking, or I would be, we've got to change up this formation and see what we can do with the players that we've got.
Yeah, it's one less square peg in a round hole, isn't it? If you, that's how you got to look at it.
4-2-3-1, 4-3-3.
Yeah. I'd counter argument that though, in that we've just looked at Barnsley, right? We've just all said we deserve to win that game, or we certainly didn't deserve to lose that game. And we didn't lose that game because we had players out of position or because of Everett's formation. We lost
that game because we had CJ as left wing back and Scott Banks as a wing back. That's why we lost that game. So I'll counter your counter.
All right, you've made your point there. We would have drawn that game then.
It's just.
I'll counter your counter, which is the hypothetical errors that would come from throwing in another system at the players that Everett's not sort of coached for. We could have made untold errors that didn't actually happen. No, I'd take the point, but
I'll counter your counter and say Evo played quite successfully in a 4-3-3, and who knows that system better than Evo? So
yeah, fair.
I think the silence means it's the end of the podcast. Unless anyone else has any urgent matters to talk about. We've got Northampton away on Saturday. Let's just go over that briefly before we head off. Raggy, is it a 6-pointer at this stage of the season?
No, I refuse to accept that any game against Northampton Town is a 6-pointer in January. So, no. But it is a must-win game.
Motivate us before this game then. Come on, you're the man motivator.
It is a must-win game though, isn't it?
Given the fixtures we've got ahead of us, yeah.
I mean, the motivation is football's football. Anything can and will happen, won't it? And if we get our finger out and decide to get in another couple of loan players that are any good, and we can start to sneak a few results, because it's not beyond the realms of possibility that any mad run can see you doing weird things. It's only 10 points off the playoffs. It sounds ridiculous after the last few results, but I was getting giddy like everyone else over Christmas, thinking, but they'll beat Port Vale, beat Bradford, we'll only be a point behind. So we weren't that far away, but it's built, I keep saying, it's built on sand to me, though, so it'll fall down very quickly. But, you know, we were favourites to be relegated and we got promoted to the Premier League, so everything is. And it's a Saturday game at home, yes, against someone that's one place below us, so we want to pull away from them. So we need it, don't we? We need to be backing them. We do back them. We back Everett. We back. There's no one, but we just get our best players on with his formation that he wants, and let's see what happens. And hopefully, players like Finnegan, Ennis, they've had some minutes now. Hopefully, they do start and bring a bit of freshness to the place, because Ennis is a new signing, isn't he, for all intents and purposes, and so's Finnegan. So maybe they bring something different, and then Randall coming in, be like 3 different players in the side. It might make the difference, and we just got to keep going. Just start racking some points up. Strength. We need strength in depth, though. They need to get more in. It's unforgivable, really, that we knew we were going to come to this window short, and we should have had players ready, but we haven't.
Left wing back was the key position that we've all been banging on for God knows how long. That's not been sorted, has it? Coulson coming back ain't the answer for me.
But why is it not so?
Imre, you can sort of, you know, Imre was a curveball, wasn't it? So you can let them off for that, but not the left back position, left wing back.
I know, but it's why. You can never get to the answer why, can you? It doesn't make sense.
It's arguably why under, you know, the Critchley season, it's arguably why we didn't make the playoffs, because we didn't have 2 good enough wing backs. I can't remember. We were certainly missing on one side. And, you know, I remember saying on here, I think we'd have made the playoffs with better quality wing backs. And, you know, here we are 2 years later, and we still haven't got them. We haven't got any at the moment.
Yeah.
Quiddickid against Northampton, so applaud the club for that. I am trying my best to rally my under-13s team that I manage to try and get as many as them to the game as possible. And to be honest, there hasn't been a big take-up of the Quiddickid offer. I've offered to take a lot of them.
To be fair, John, it shouldn't be an option. As a local football coach, you should be making them go. You either come to the game or you're not playing next week.
Yeah, that's it.
This is how you indoctrinate children. This is how you do it. You bully them into it and there's no choice. This is what's happening. That's
Donald Trump sort of school of coaching.
Well, it should be happening. It should be happening at every school to every child.
They say, I won't enjoy it. And you say, no, you won't enjoy the next fucking 50 years of being a Blackpool fan either, but you're going.
You're going to hate it. Yeah, you're going to hate it.
One of the parents put in our chat group, what have the boys done to deserve that?
Yeah.
And I said, that's for not being 3-0 up at half-time in the last match. So that's your punishment, boy.
Yeah, but these are the times you've got to get them there. I don't think any of us have started watching Blackpool Football Club because they were very successful when we started watching.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Get them hooked. And if you get them all together, they enjoy it together, don't they? So they keep going together.
Yeah. So, okay. Tell you what, Raggy, I'll bring him in the north with you, and you can you can show them the atmosphere and show them what it's all about being a Blackpool fan.
See if we can sneak out with a pint for a fag at half. Shouting at.
That's one way to get around the rules, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, I think we'll leave it there. Thanks for gents coming in. Great chat as ever. Good mid-pod interlude from Raggy there. I think we all agree with everything that he said there. Great words as ever. So if you have enjoyed the show, do subscribe on YouTube and all that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for downloading. If you're on the audio, and up the pool. We can turn this ship around, can't we? Up the pool.
Up the pool.
Been involved in 2. Can he make 3? Not on this occasion. Well taken by Walsh. Davis is on the far side. Ainscough coming square. That's the ball. That's a good try!